Hello and welcome back to Varlamore chunk. In the last episode, I rolled the Colosseum, the craziest chunk there is. So let's briefly go over my rules for the Colosseum, as it is a chunk so insane that it needs special treatment for now. There are 2 rules I'm setting out for this grind. Rule number 1, I must do a minimum of 20 attempts to get as far as possible, and any reward available at a wave I've cleared before I must obtain. On every future chunk roll, the number of required attempts is reset to 10 if I have upgrades to my setup available, or 3 if I don't, and that will keep repeating until I have everything. The next rule I want to add a bit of context to before I say, and that context is I'm not an Extreme 1 chunk account. If you've watched the series so far though, you'll know that I'm definitely not adverse to grinds. There are plenty of creators who call their series Extreme chunk accounts that would not have done the crafting grind or the smithing grind that I have done to date. I'm definitely not against a dumb grind, but anyway, rule number 2. Any grind that I believe will have a negative effect on my mental health by committing to shall be backlogged. I'm sorry it's not specific, but you can understand that, I'm sure. Okay, that's enough rule nonsense. Let's get into the challenge, starting with my setup. The setup has a few notable features. The rune mace, of course. This is my best in slot DPS for the waves. I do have an adamant scimitar, which is more DPS on Soul Heredit, but let's be honest, that's a problem for future crack. The hat. I could bring a tank helm, but if a monster is hitting me off prayer, I'm gonna die, so I'm happy to lose the defense for fashion. A strength pot. Now this is only to be used if the reward that's shown on the next wave is something I need, as I cannot make more of these. I'm relying on random events to get them. And most importantly for the setup, there are no prayer pots. Not having any way to restore prayer is the defining characteristic of this challenge. Maybe along with terrible DPS, but I have to pray against every attack that comes my way, and with only 45 prayer points, there is only one solution, and that's prayer flicking. Players often refer to prayer flicking meaning different things, such as changing your overheads to negate attacks from multiple different monsters, but what I am referring to is a crazy mechanic rooted in Jagex's insane spaghetti code. The game only updates information every 0.6 seconds, or 1 tick, and if you turn your prayer on, but turn it off on the very next tick, you don't drain any prayer points. None. But you still get the full effectiveness of the prayers on that tick. This gives us 2 forms of prayer flicking. The first we shall call lazy flicking. Lazy flicking refers to keeping track of what tick an attack is going to happen on, and turning on your prayer for that tick only. It certainly isn't lazy, but you'll understand the name when I talk about the next sort of prayer flicking, one-tick flicking. One-tick flicking involves turning your prayer off and then back on every tick, so that you always have access to its effects, but never drain any prayer. Each of these methods has its own benefits. Lazy flicking is way less clicking needed, which is nice on the hands, and it keeps you in touch of the timings of mobs, especially the ones that have special attacks. But one-tick flicking lets you utilize the prayer orb to also include offensive prayers for more DPS, and to reduce cognitive load in difficult situations, like if I have multiple NPCs attacking me on different cycles, or if there's an enemy that's off-screen that I need to pray against. I will be utilising both methods of prayer flicking, and will be flicking every NPC that I can to make these 45 prayer points last as long as possible. Before we embark on wave 1, let's have a brief talk about plugins. On this series, I like to keep my usage of plugins very minimal for enjoyable viewing, but in the Colosseum specifically, I'm going to do everything I can to get as far as possible. So there are a few plugins you can expect to see. There is one tile marker I use in the Colosseum, it's this one here, and I'm using the immersive ground markers to mark it with dirt instead of a square because I like how that looks. And this is where I shall start every single wave on, and make my way back to at the end of each wave. I have the line markers plugin to highlight this area so I don't accidentally step out of it onto a tile that will very often get me killed as I'm solving waves. I have NPC indicators, marking each NPC with a big coloured square, to more quickly identify them and to help in identifying where enemies will move next and when they will attack. And finally, I'm using this flashing square here, the visual metronome. In the Colosseum, every tick can be important, and knowing when they happen is vital to my strategy. I could certainly use the audio metronome plugin, but as a musician I have trained to interact with a metronome in a way that actually makes me perform worse in RuneScape when I have this plugin on, so I'm opting for the visual metronome. I'm sorry for the visual noise that accompanies this. Also, I have it set to a 6-tick cycle that in niche circumstances can help me deal with the Fremennik warband. Speaking of, they are the first enemies we'll talk about, the Fremennik warband. It contains 1 melee, 1 mage, and 1 ranged NPC. They spawn on every single wave, and they run to you pathing around obstacles. They attack sequentially every 6 ticks on a cycle that's set in stone from the beginning of the wave, but they will only attack you if when they are due to attack, they are stationary. So by walking back and forth when they are set to attack, all damage from them can be avoided. However, you can't do this indefinitely, as 40 seconds into each wave, some reinforcements will spawn. And if the warband is still on me, I'm in for a bad time. Fortunately, if you attack each member of the warband with the countering combat style, according to RuneScape's combat triangle, you will always hit your maximum damage. So I bring in my rune mace for the ranger, an airstrike for the melee, and a ranged weapon to deal with the major. And with these, I can generally kill 2 of the Fremenniks by the time the reinforcements spawn, letting me stand still and pray against the 3rd one. As I get upgrades, it will become possible for me to kill this 3rd Fremennik before the reinforcements arrive, which is really nice. But more importantly, the DPS upgrades simply let me kill them faster, because there is another time pressure that I'll explain shortly. When each wave starts, I begin on this tile here, because enemies will never spawn next to me, so they will all spawn out here, and 5 ticks after the wave begins. So on that 5th tick, I will run behind this pillar. Each NPC I'll group into 4 categories. They either spawn as the Fremenniks or the reinforcements, which we've talked about already, and then we have 2 more types: pillar spawns, referring to NPCs that are immediately safe spotted by this pillar here, and mid spawns. Middle spawns will walk out around the side of the pillar and attack me. It's technically possible that the whole 11 waves in the Colosseum there's never a middle spawn, and every NPC is always safe spotted, but the chances of this are incredibly low, and in many waves, especially the ones that spawn more monsters, there will be 1 or more middle spawn. Usually middle spawns aren't a big deal, you just pray against them as you deal with the Fremenniks, and if you have a high DPS setup, sometimes you can even kill them before the reinforcements arrive, but on this account they are a massive issue. I have to deal with the Fremenniks, which is a very involved process, and so during that time, I don't have the ability to pray a flick. Maybe Port Khazard could do it, but I can't. That means I'm going to need to camp my prayer against any middle spawns while I'm dealing with them. And with very limited prayer points, this drain is brutal. In this initial setup, a middle spawn will take about 13 prayer points, meaning I can only ever deal with 3 of them on a run, and a 4th will end my run. This is why high DPS on the Fremenniks is important. Each time I gain max hits on them and can kill them in 1 less hit, I save some prayer points, eventually letting me deal with 4 middle spawns and maybe even 5 if I'm dealing with them particularly well. On wave 1, we encounter 2 main NPCs, the mage and the melee. The mage is quite simple. It attacks with magic every 5 ticks. The sound of its attack is clear, and it animates for 3 ticks, then sits still for 2 before it attacks again, and this makes it fairly easy to flick. The one problem with these NPCs is that they are small, meaning that these have a tendency to sneak around the pillars in a way that larger NPCs in the Colosseum don't. In the Wave 1 reinforcements, we encounter the melee NPC. This pineapple-headed friend is a real problem. On a normal account, you just safe spot these and kill them with a bow or a shadow or something. But my only reasonable DPS setup is my melee, and so I have to attack them in melee range and flick their melee attacks. It attacks 3 times on the same tick, each with a max hit of 47. With it being able to hit 141 damage in 1 tick, if I miss a single flick on one of these, there is an extremely high chance that I just get one shot, and I will. A lot. because these are actually harder to flick than the mages. They also attack just once every 5 ticks, but the sound they have starts slightly late and have 3 predominant swipes, which I hear musically and they don't align with the timing of Runescape ticks. Hearing this sound makes the ticks afterwards feel like they're changing speed and often causes me to make a mistake here. But I can't turn the sounds off as they're incredibly important for feedback on when things are happening. So for the melees, I'm just staring incredibly hard at my visual metronome and I am counting to 5. And with wave 1 done, it generally takes me just under 5 minutes. Wave 2 introduces the ranger. The ranger attacks every 5 ticks with range, but every 5th attack, they throw a spear instead. And if you don't move off your current tile, you'll take a hit. With the max hit of the ranger being about a 48, dodging spears and correctly flicking is essential. With my +4 prayer bonus from a rune mace, my 45 or 46 later in the video prayer points, they can last 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And if I bring up a DPS calc of a rune mace with, let's say, 92 strength, which I currently have, and 70 attack, which I'll be getting shortly, against one of these puppies, I do roughly 0.9 DPS, meaning its 220 health takes about 4 minutes on average. If you ever thought, what if you don't flick? Yeah, my prayer won't even last for a single ranger. Wave 2 also introduces our first pillar stack. A pillar stack refers to how multiple monsters are positioned when safe spotted behind a pillar. If they are positioned sideways, I can deal with them one at a time by isolating them on one side of the pillar. If they are positioned behind one another, however, we need to perform an off tick. An off tick is any action that causes the monsters to attack you at different times. We have 2 options unique to this small mage NPC. The first is if the mage is closer to us, and it relies on the smaller size of the mage. If I stand in the center of the pillar, you can see the mage is well behind the pillar, but the larger NPC, the ranger in this case, sticks out. Running out in this direction will cause that ranger to be able to see me first, while the mage is still out of line of sight. So I can step out, pray range for 1 tick, and then mage, and I'll safely pray against both attacks. The second option is if the mage is behind the ranger. And in this case, I like to utilize the fact that the mage only has a 10 tile range. So if I stand 11 tiles away, I can then walk out to here. Doing so will cause the mage to be stuck behind the ranger on the first tick, and on the second tick it'll be far enough out to walk around and be able to attack me. Once they are off-ticked, what I do depends on the orientation of the pillar. If the pillar stack is aligned east to west, ducking back behind the pillar will cause the mage to come around the pillar, isolating it and letting me deal with it alone. It's always safer for me to deal with these one at a time, because although I'm confident at flicking 2 NPCs, these waves are really long, and I'm probably going to make a mistake at some point, and any combination of 2 of these enemies hitting me can one-shot me, while one of them is generally safe enough for me to heal out of it with the food I bring in. If the pillar stack is north-south, upon returning behind the pillar, the mage will go back behind the pillar, as all NPCs will prefer to path east-west instead of north-south, given the opportunity. When this happens, I off-tick the NPCs and then use that timing difference to run around to the next pillar, changing the orientation of the stack and splitting the NPCs up. I will refer to this as rotating. Alright, let's finally jump into some actual, progression clips and me doing the thing. And apologies if you got any spoilers for the rest of the video from all the B-roll and shots I used there. If I had to go in and find every situation that I was talking about through all that, this video wouldn't be out for weeks. So, apologies if you see some of the stuff I get. So Manti Mayhem's a beautiful one to see, because there's not even a Manticore on this coming wave. Down, and I don't think that next wave is very tempting. If I had full prayer and food, I would go for it, but I do not. So we're just going to claim that, and we've got 2 new items. Let's check out this chest, and one of these is a collection log. Ah, beautiful. I love that sound. Thank you, Sea Engineer. Much appreciated. We'll take those. And cannonballs are a new item for us as well. Wave 2 down. With Wave 2 completed, it takes about 10 minutes. Completing Wave 2 also gives us access to 2 new best in slot items from the drop table, and they are now chunk tasks that I have to obtain. The Rune Chain Body and the Rune Kite Shield. Before we jump into Wave 3, let's talk about modifiers or invocations. Before each wave, you must select one, and the first 3 offered are always the same. Blasphemy is preferable to avoid, as our 45 prayer points are all we get, and damage draining them ends runs very quickly for me. Frailty reduces my maximum health. I can't afford to be tanking anything in this run, so my health is usually quite irrelevant. I like to take this invocation. Relentless causes me to take more damage when I'm not praying, but once again, if I get hit off prayer, there's a good chance I'm dying anyway. Relentless is a good invocation, though it makes the melee with multiple hit splats exceptionally punishing, and I find them the hardest to flick, so I tend to prefer Frailty for Wave 1. From Wave 2, there are more options. Bees. These will get me instantly killed, never take these. Doom. This kills me upon taking 15, 10 or 5 instances of damage in a wave, but if I take 5 hits in a wave, I'm probably dead already, so Doom is a great invocation. We love taking Doom. Dynamic Duo causes 2 larger mages to spawn instead of 1 when they are in later waves, increasing the chances of making them middle spawns. I'd prefer to avoid this on my deep runs, but I'll definitely attempt any wave with it. Manti Mayhem causes Manticores to be more deadly when not prayed against. This invocation is fine, but as Manticores are quite hard to prayer flick, I prefer to avoid this one. Myopia reduces the range of my bow, but I kill everything with melee, so this does nothing. I will always pick this one. Re-entry causes javelins from ranges to leave an AoE. I kill these so slowly that in the time I kill one, they throw almost 20 javelins. And with that much AoE, this invocation will end a run instantly. Red Flag causes a Minotaur NPC to not be safe spottable, once again instantly ending any deep run. Solar Flare. These AoEs can't be ignored for me, and so I must be dodged. Dodging them during difficult prayer flicks means I would need to camp prayers for a few ticks, and this will end up draining my prayer, so I would really like to avoid this invocation. Quartet spawns an extra Fremenic, meaning I can't kill them before the reinforcements spawn, ending my run. Totemic spawns healing totems that must be hit before they fully heal NPCs. These are incredibly annoying and should be avoided. Volatility causes enemies to explode when they die. This deals less damage than tanking a hit and is really easy to dodge, as well as much of the time I'm dodging them just by doing regular strats, so this is great, we love volatility. Wave 3 is dealt with in the same way as Wave 2, but with an extra ranger I am more likely to have a mid-spawn and will need to rotate to split more NPCs. Hello, I'm coming at you with another lamp clip. It's going on agility, giving us level 6 agility, which is the next run restoration bracket. I'll put the stats on the screen here. That's going to give us more run energy as we do anything where we're running, and we're going to switch our lamping to... do I do my rune crafting now? Yeah, let's go for that 20 rune crafting. On that set of Fremenics, we just got level 9 magic, which has upgraded our airstrike to be able to hit 6 now instead of just 4. So that's a huge DPS upgrade, and when we get level 13, it's going to go up even further. To get my next max hit on accurate and defensive styles, I would need to get 98 strength. And getting 6 strength levels to get that max hit is less of a DPS upgrade than getting 6 attack levels at level 60. So for a while, we're going to sit with this max hit, and we're going to train on accurate. Try to get our attack probably up to 80-ish, I think. And the rune chain is up next. Okay, so looking at these invos, I'm definitely claiming next wave. I want that, and we don't have a Manticore showing up, so Manti Mayhem is perfect. The shamans only have a 10 tile range. Got it! Yeah, so we've destacked them now, and now I can fight them one by one. It is! Oh, gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, yeah. Claim, confirm. Give me that. Oh, it's noted. That's unfortunate. Can I unnote it on a bank I can't use? No, I cannot. We take it outside. Here we go. Use that on the bank. Yup. Yes! Slightly less stab, but that's quite okay. Look at those other bonuses. Oh, it's so much better. Wave 3 generally takes about 15 minutes, and completing Wave 3 adds more loot options, 3 of which are chunk tasks. I will need to get Onyx Bolts, requiring 61 ranged. I need to get Dragon Plate Legs, requiring 60 defense. And I need to get Gold Ore to make gold bars and jewellery, the highest of which being a Diamond Amulet. Wave 4 is complicated by the reinforcements now including a mage as well as a melee. This makes ranged mid-spawns especially bad, as prayer flicking both of these is incredibly difficult when I have one on each side. It also introduces the hardest enemy to prayer flick, the Manticore. Once the Manticore sees you, it will ready 3 attacks, in the orders either ranged mage melee or mage ranged melee, and 5 ticks later, it fires them at you in that order on consecutive ticks. To pray against this without losing prayer is very difficult. For example, if the Manticore is attacking with mage first, on the 5th tick, after the Manticore readies its first projectile, I have to pray mage, then on the next tick I have to turn off pray mage and turn on pray ranged, and then I have to turn off pray ranged and turn on pray melee, and then the tick after that I have to turn off pray melee. But a ranged first Manticore is especially hard, as in that 3rd tick of prayer flicking, I have to click on pray mage and pray melee in the same tick, and these are not next to each other in the prayer book, which makes this noticeably harder than the other variety of Manticore. Hey look, level 10 magic, but also trying to record that definitely gets me killed here. Oh... Oops. Alright, we're going back in, but I'm gonna change a setting, and it makes me sad. But we're gonna disable the level up interface. I love seeing my level ups, but it keeps making me take damage when I mage a thing and get a mage level, and I can't be having that at the moment, so I guess no more nice level up clips, but better completions, that's the plan. Oh yeah! 3 prayer and no food use. That is the wave 1 we are looking for. We are down 2 food, and that wave 2 I did with 1 prayer point. I am super proud of that. Okay, we are attempting the wave 3 again. Think that mage hits me there. Can I pull everything over? I can't pull everything over. Alright, let's do that science. So we go attack, it certainly... Oh no! Oh, that's bad. Oh! Okay, so I can off-tech them there. Or I can try pull it round the side. Or I think we rotate this one and go round here. Let's eat up so that I've got a chance of surviving this. And see what happens. Yeah, so that ranger comes around the top. Yeah! Wave 3 down. Oh, and there's the Runekite shields. Oh my god. No! Oh my god, I'm alive. Oh, that can see me. I didn't think that could... Ah, that's unfortunate. No Runekite shields from us on that wave. Alright, that's quite enough of that for me for today. I have filled up my capacity for doing that much prayer flicking. That is a lot of work. So we're going to go hit up some sand crabs and do some training on ranged. I got a copper ore notification and I'm still in combat. There's someone else here. Is that a bot? There's no way someone else is training here. This makes no sense. And don't leave your copper ore. Rar. Ooh, we can hit 5s with our range now. That's just sped up killing that mage Fremennik. Well, there went 40 range with no level up message, so sad, but that's 40. In that last attempt, we just got 1,000 total. I didn't really see it because level up message is being cancelled, but I see it now. I also got specced out by a Jaguar warrior because I messed up a flick. Or maybe I was lagging. Here it comes, our very first Manticore kill. And we're going to be able to finish this wave 2, I think, as long as I don't mess up on the melee. There it is, and a combat task completed. Oh, that's a rough start to wave 5. Well, we didn't get very far in wave 5, but look at that, we've got a new glory high score too. We've probably unlocked something. Let's go have a look over at the board here. What have we got? We have view glory. Hey, bank access. Awesome. I love bank access. I mean, that was a thing I needed right from the start of this account when we started basically as a UIM. Wave 4 takes just over 10 minutes, and completing Wave 4 gives us access to the uniques, Echo Crystals and Sunfire Fanatic Armor. I would love to get these, but unfortunately for this I'm going to have to invoke the mental health rule, and backlog them as requirements. I can realistically farm Wave 4, but from Wave 4 it would take on average 620 runs to get full Sunfire Fanatic, and each of those are almost an hour long, and with my projected setup taking 8 air runes per wave, that's going to need about 25,000 air runes, which to obtain, I would need to kill about 200,000 Varlamore thieves. Maybe Verf or Limpwort would do this, but this is too much for my non-extreme baby account. So for now, these are going on the backlog until I have better access to air runes and prayer potions. However, each further wave I can get to repeatedly makes this more achievable, so maybe I would unbacklog them if I get serious DPS upgrades. Wave 5 is the same as Wave 4 but adds a ranger to the mix, meaning more middle spawns, and more times I will have to rotate to get a mage range combo off me. But also with 2 different large NPCs, we get the final 2 off-tick strategies that I implement on this account. If I have 2 large NPCs stacked backwards from the pillar, stepping out from the middle tile away from the direction the NPCs are sticking out causes the NPC at the back to get line of sight on me 1 tick before the NPC at the front does, thus off-ticking them. The other scenario is if one NPC is held out sideways by another one, such as this. Stepping out from the middle tile but now 1 tile back means the front NPC will see me instantly and the back NPC will see me 1 tick later. Both of these off ticks I will generally follow up by a rotation to split these NPCs up and isolate them. Done a good range training session, and that is 45 range. We can now hit 6s with ranged, which is super good because every damage at the moment, every max hit is making it faster to kill the Fremennik. With a max hit of 5, the 50 health would take 10 shots to kill. With a max hit of 6, it would take 9. With a max hit of 7, it would take 8. With 8, it would take 7. With 9, it would take 6. With 10, it would take 5. And with 11, it would still take 5. So getting up to 10 is going to be the most impactful. Oh, there they are, the Runekite shields. Come on, don't mess it up this time, please. Easy, had heaps of supplies left. Let's claim another set of waves. And I'm sorry, Steel Kite Shield, like, you were great, but you really didn't last very long. It is time for you to be replaced. Let's chuck on one of those. Yeah! That is everything from wave 2 that we needed acquired, the rune chain and the rune kite shield. Now from wave 3 we still need to get the onyx bolts and get the range level to wear them, we need to get the dragon plate legs, and we need to get the rune 2H sword and the gold ore. So there's still 4 drops from wave 3 that we need to go for. This clip is an absolute classic problem that I ran into lots of times, where I'm dealing with the start of the wave, the reinforcement spawn, so I go for a rotation, I tank some hits but nothing that I can't survive, and I get to the other side and stop, not realizing a javelin had been thrown which lands behind the pillar. Oh, we did it again, and look at that prayer! I just did wave 4 without using a single prayer point. And one of our chunk tasks is being offered on the next wave, so I have to do that now. And I guess it's Doom 3, so I can only take 5 hits ever. How does he keep doing it? Oh my god, the dragon plate legs. Oh. Wave 5 completed. How important is the gold ore compared to rolling for those dragon plate? I could knock them both off right now, which would be insane. Let me have a quick look at the drop rates on the wiki. So on wave 5, they're really common. 5 and 6, they're really common. If I can get up here again, I'm very likely to get them. But on wave 4, it's 1 in 70. But it's also 1 in 70 for the golds, and the gold I've already got. I think I'm going to claim it and not go for the wave 6 on this one. But hey, wave 5 cleared. That's awesome. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh. Beating wave 5 adds no new chunk tasks. But it does get us onto wave 6. And wave 6 represents a large difficulty spike. On paper, simply adding one more ranger to the last wave sounds not too bad. But the combination of having 2 rangers as well as 2 mages once you include the reinforcements means that the chances of having monsters of 2 different styles, including a manticore in there, attacking you at the same time goes through the roof. There are no real new strategies to use on this wave, or on any of the other waves coming up later really, but rotating large pillar stacks now can often create unique scenarios that require some critical thinking and forethought to come up with solves for. I was unsure if I would ever be able to complete wave 6 on this setup, because this terrible setup and this huge spike in difficulty are really tough. Not only that, having to get through 6 waves with few enough mid spawns to not run out of prayer is also very unlikely. With the gold ore we got from a wave recently, I just quickly knocked out some crafting, making the highest things I can, which was a diamond amulet and a gold tiara. I look gorgeous. But we're going to put back on my hat. I love my hat. And with the not straight cloak, it looks so good. This outfit's sick. Oh, there they are, the onyx bolts. It's one of the 3 items we still need, so we're going to heal the whole way up. And we're going to use the strength potion. The strength potions we can get from Dr. Jekyll's, so I only am going to use them when there's something I really want on the next wave. And the attack potions I can only get from the chests in a maze event, so those ones are for if we get super lucky and a unique shows up. Which, I don't know, is extraordinarily rare, but it might happen, so it's ready for that scenario. So we're gonna strength pod up, and we've got Myopia, which is a great option here, and we're gonna go for this wave 3 completion. And I didn't speak much during this part of the wave, so we're voicing it over, but it's a really good example of how I do a lot of the waves, where I finish off the Fremennik, and then I set up this rotation and flick monsters along the way to set up and isolate one at the south pillar. Hey, okay, it's gone down. We got another one of our chunk tasks, leaving just the Rune 2H and the Dragon Legs, I think. At this point, I'm pretty happy in saying that I can do Wave 3 every single time now. Wave 4 requires RNG, and Wave 5 requires a lot of RNG. Alright, let's put those up in our setup, and if I look at that, it requires level 61 ranged. I have just thought of something. I can buy cups of tea. And a cup of tea gives me a +3 attack boost, which means I can basically have that for flinching every high defense monster in the Colosseum, and that's going to slightly increase my DPS, which is going to be really nice. I'm definitely going to bring a couple of these in for probably waves 3, 4, 5. I think I'll bring 3 or 4 of them in. Oh, the Rune 2H's. Ah, they're offered on a wave 5. And wave 5 requires some pretty good RNG, but my supplies aren't great. Oh, we're very low on prayer, but I guess we're gonna go for it. Good like us, we'll go for a doom. Going in with low prayer points, there was really what we not wanted to see. There's a mid spawn, and I have to pray against it, but my prayer is getting really low, so I figure I'm gonna need to run for a rotation and try trap it behind the pillar. But with all the pressure and so little time, I did not manage to pull it off, so no Rune 2H for us on this run. I noticed I had a whole bunch of Herblore banked, so let's just use a little bit of that. There we go, 27 Herblore. And I turned the level up interface back on, level 28. Oh, they're showing up again on the wave 5. But I think I've only completed the wave 5 like once. So, no pressure. Well, I solved the Fremennik part of the wave, but I'm down to 2 prayer points, and I have one crazy pillar stack there. What do? Okay, I think I've figured it out. Let me talk you through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run out to this line here and pray range, mage, melee. The mage gets around the side, and then I get back before the next attack, but I'll probably flick a range just in case. I might tank a mage hit from the baby mage, but I've got a little bit of food, so that's worth it. And then I can solo the mage here. Once the mage is down, then you can flick these two together, because the range will be attacking on the same tick. So let's do this really far back. So we're going to there. We tank the mage hit. Okay. I came back too early, and now the stack is different. Oops. Okay, I figured out the next bit. So yeah, this isn't ideal, but it's still solvable. What I'm going to do is bring these two over to the side here. And now that they're over at the side, if I step out here, the Manticore sees me, I pray ranged, and then the mage gets out one tick later, and I pray maged against both of these two, and then I pray melee, and then I come back behind the pillar, and the ranger will have moved out to here, blocking the mage on this side, and the mage will come round and I can deal with the major here. Okay. Let's zoom in so I can have easier clicks there and just trust it's gonna work. Watch. Oh, I've got both of them and I had to camp prayer because I got scared. No! Okay, I got one of the mages down, just one tick flicking them both. And now I can lazy flick this one. That's a good sign. Now that we've reduced it to a straight stack, I could just flick this, but on one prayer point there's a good chance I mess up somewhere and die. But what I can do is I can rotate this to try isolate the closest one. So I'm going to run to this pillar, and I can pray range, mage, melee, gap, ranged, get behind the pillar. And then this stack is going to move across. The melee is probably going to come down underneath, and the manticore is going to go over the top, and then I pray the manticore. That's what I think's going to happen. Let's see if that's right. No, I dropped prayer. No. Oh, I did so much work. Ah, that's heartbreaking. I needed a break after that last death. Yeah, that was a bit rough, but I decided to come do some thieving, and I know this isn't important anymore, but we just got a double statuette house. And if you remember back from like, or was it episode 2 or 3? From really early on, the double statuette houses were always a good time. Is it this one? It is this one, level 50 ranged. We have a cool level coming in, if I can ever hit this mage. There it is, 70 attack. We've got wave 3 down again, we're pretty consistent at it, and these times are also pretty consistent. It looks like wave 1 takes about 5 minutes, wave 2 takes about 10 minutes, and wave 3 takes about 15 minutes. On wave 1 and 2, we can't get any of the items we need, they're all on wave 3+, so to have any chance at getting any loot I need to put in a minimum of half an hour. And with the drops on wave 3 being a 1 in 70, then on average each of them is a 35-hour grind, assuming I play perfectly and never die, which is obviously true. Right? Yeah, that's true. It's over. If I miss one flick on a Manti Mayhem 2, it's just not gonna happen. There's no way I kill this before Venom kills me. No. This was a pillar stack that I wasn't sure how to deal with, and I wasn't sure how it was going to move, but it ended up being quite elegant actually. I like this one. And Frailty 2, that's a fine invocation, 21 prayer points. That's not bad, this is looking alright. So I'm not getting the loot I need on this run, but it looks like it's going to be another attempt to get into that wave 6 and try to clear it. Ooh, I don't think this is a solve I've had to attempt yet, but this one is quite tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to run for this pillar over here. And what's going to happen on the way is we're going to run to here, we're going to pray ranged, we're going to get to here, we're going to pray mage against this one. And then we're going to swap back to range, we're going to take one ranged hit here. Or somewhere around here, and we're going to get behind the pillar. But getting behind the pillar is going to have these two coming around the top, which isn't okay. And then we're going to have to duck back around this side of the pillar. Alright, we're going to give it a go, see what happens. This one is a bit of a science. Oh, actually no, the melee's going to trap the other thing in. And it can't see us? Nice, okay. Good to know for that one. Oh, it always feels good to get that one, because that's my PB. We get offered an item that we already have, so with the loot, there is absolutely nothing at stake that I don't mind missing out on. We are good with that. So we can attempt this. Solar Flare is a no-go ever. Quartet, also a no-go ever. Frailty 3, sure, we're going to have no health. We also have one prayer point, so I don't see this working, but we're making a real attempt at going into wave 6. Trying to ever sustain prayer until now is absolutely nuts. So this is already very high on the luck on variance, I think. Let's give it a go. Basically, if something walks through the middle, it's all going to be over. If it doesn't go into a full pillar stack, there's just no way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we've got a ranger on us. Okay. Oh, I'm shaky. Oh, and we've been smited. It's all over. I was not prepared to attempt that. Ah, goodbye, cruel world. No. A slight change to the setup. That death to venom, that can be avoided. Strange fruit cures poison, so if I bring 2 of these, I can knock that venom out of the way if I accidentally have Manti Mayhem 2 and miss a flick. Unfortunately, of course, that means I have 2 less food, but food is really not my problem in here. I'm dying to running out of prayer, or to messing up a really difficult situation because I'm forced to act because of the threat of running out of prayer. It's literally all about the prayer. What on earth do we take there? That's gross. I guess totemic, we're gonna try that. I have not tried that yet on this account, but I imagine it's a nightmare. What? How come that didn't get the totem? Oh. It was a terrible spawn anyway, but still. Okay, yeah, that's a no-go on totemic. Next time on that set, I'm just gonna claim the loot. Dragon Seed offered on wave 5. But Earth Orbs, which are a new drop for us on wave 4, so I think we're just gonna claim those given our 4 prayer points. We will take those. They're not useful, we don't have access to battle staves, so there's absolutely nothing we can do with these at the moment, but it's a new item, and new items are cool. That's a wave 6 full pillar stack. It is solved and ready to go, I just need to perform all my flicks. So the plan for it, deal with the Jaguar on its own, deal with the Manticore on its own, then I've got this double here. Oh. That stacks down differently than I expected. Holy. Wave 6 completed. God damn. Oof. Do I care? I don't care about any of that loot, eh? I guess we try a wave 7. I mean, technically it gets easier from here. However, I am starting with 5 prayer, which, you know, brings that down a little bit. What do we go for? Probably the Doom. I can't be taking 5 hits on a wave. Alright, good luck us on wave 7. A wave 6 completion is insane. I am so impressed with myself for getting that done. It adds nothing to the drop table, so doesn't update our chunk tasks, but it does fill me with this great sense of warmth. And we get to have a look at wave 7. Wave 7 has a really similar spawn as wave 5, with 2 differences. 1, the mage is now bigger, meaning it gets safe spotted more easily, making the spawn of this wave easier to deal with often. And the other change is the reinforcements, which were a mage and a melee, are now replaced by 1 Minotaur which just attacks with melee. And also, it's bigger, making it easier to safe spot once again. This means that wave 7 is significantly easier than wave 6, probably somewhere between wave 4 and 5 in difficulty. The problem is we can still get medal spawns and just run out of prayer, so the difficulty of this wave doesn't particularly matter. One other thing is that this new NPC, the Minotaur, is kind of unnerving to flick, because whereas most melee attacks attack and you get the hit splat in the same tick, this one, the hit splat appears 1 tick later, and that's very disconcerting trying to flick them, and they also have an extremely large max hit. Minotaurs will also heal any NPC that they are in line of sight of, so you need to deal with them first. God damn, that was a tanky boy. Oh, that hit hurts so much. Okay, good thing about this stack is we can double rotate to split them both times. If I run to this pillar here, the mage sees me, the range never sees me, and then I can deal with the manticore round here. We took one hit from the manticore, so we are actually out of food. And we're out of our teas as well. We're down to the last two, and now we get a strat that I've never actually tried before. This is a thing that I've thought about, but never actually done. So usually what I'd do is I'd step out from here to this tile, and the ranger sees me before the major, and I've got them off ticked. But having to do that lossless while dodging the javelins is going to be really difficult. So what we're going to try do is we're going to step out here, we're going to go range mage, and then we're going to run to that pillar and go range mage along the way here. Okay, I messed up one of them, but it's okay. Just the mage left. We're going to take off all our plate armor just in case we accidentally tank a hit. We'll probably die anyway. There's a very low chance we survive taking a hit from this, but it's possible. I'm just going to swap pillars. Oh. Wow, we actually got wave 7 down, that's nuts. And we get a combat achievement for it. That's so cool. And I guess we get to try wave 8. I don't love my odds with 0 supplies, and 4 prayer points and 40 health. But, you know, there's nothing here except, like, we don't have a snapdragon seed yet, but we don't have farming, so we don't care about the snapdragon seed yet. The gold ore's nice, I like it, the sunfire splinters are worth a bit, but, like, there's no risk going for a wave 8. We managed to complete a wave 7, which is not that surprising after dealing with wave 6, which is much harder. Also, having enough RNG to be able to get few enough middle spawns to be able to get this far through it all is insane. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that again. And completing wave 7 adds 3 new drops that I care about. Dragon bolts unfinished, my new best in slot bolts, dragon arrow tips that would add a 90 fletching requirement, and the tunnel sticks of Ralos, a 1 in 1300 drop that would add 75 ranged. Notice, however, how I did say would add, because once again, unfortunately, I'm going to have to backlog these, because I don't think in this chunk I will ever be able to beat wave 7 again. This was a wild outlier, it's insane how lucky I got. Anyway, onto wave 8, let's have a quick look at it. Wave 8 adds a ranger to wave 7, slightly increasing its difficulty once again, but it's still probably easier than wave 6 thanks to a single mage. Yeah, that was going to be difficult. Glory high score. That's cool. That's really cool. View glory. What have we got? We can get the Fortis respawn point. How do I enable that? And I get more money from all those stolen goods I've got? That's really good. Okay, how do I enable the respawn point? Is it this friend? Because if it is, change my respawn point. Yes! I never got sent to Lumbridge from dying, not once. And now, I can't. I don't even get put outside my chunks if I die. That's so good. Oh, I'm actually stoked about that. I'm just trading some range, by the way, because we still need to get that level 61 range for a chunk task as well. But the times of our waves, if we go back up, wave 1, 5.5 minutes, wave 2, 11.5 minutes, wave 3, 13 minutes, wave 4 was 14.5 minutes, wave 5 was 16.5 minutes, wave 6, 21, almost 22 minutes, and then of course on wave 7, 19 minutes. If we add all those up, that was an hour and a half. No ammo left in your quiver, we're out of bronze arrows. well, we've got 4 left. We're not actually out of bronze arrows. I'm really not worried about ammunition though, so we're just going to go grab our iron arrows and start working our way through those. Level 54 ranged, and that is, of course, halfway to level 61. Oh, here's a cool example of a combination of 2 things I've done before. It's both stepping out to off-tick the 2 NPCs so the back one sees me first, and doing that zigzag to rotate it round to the next pillar. Check this out. Oh, hello, you joined me at a good time. This manticore here, the one hiding behind the pillar, is the only monster between me and getting those Rune 2H swords, one of the chunk tasks we have left. And I have a lot of supplies, and because I'm definitely claiming it, I don't mind draining prayer points, so we're going to do some science. I'm going to not lostlessly flick this manticore, I'm going to leave my prayer up for the 2 ticks of the first 2 attacks, and we're just going to see how much prayer that drains. And the manticore goes down. It took us 14 prayer points to do regular lazy flicking on a manticore, and we get the Rune 2Hs, which have 2 cool things. The most important one, well, okay, now let's call it the least important one for now, is that's going to be my best DPS weapon on Soul Heredit. Yeah, it's better than my Rune Ace, because it's got a big slash bonus, and slash is good, and it's even better than the Adamant Scimitar, so if for some reason with my current weapons we get up to Soul, I'll get to use that. Ah, that'd be amazing. So let me show you the other use for the Rune 2H. So far, to kill this archer in 3 hits, I've had to use this ultimate strength on the last attack to give me that extra little bit of damage to reach that threshold, but that means I have to leave ultimate strength on for 2 ticks, draining the tiniest amount of prayer. Ow. Well, I guess I need to go in again back into wave 1 to show you the Rune 2H. 1 second. Okay, here we go, finishing it off with that Rune 2H for the big 18 and saving that little bit of prayer. I guess killing a bee would be a chunk task. I'm sorry, bees, but it has to be done. It's for the greater good. Yeah. Oh, 33 magic. Hold on, bees, will get to you in a second. Oh, we got the reinforcements spawning in. Let's get back there. Okay, let's use the bow. Take him out. Get him. Sit, bees. Level 61 range, there it is. I didn't get to see the thing that it said, but I can tell you what it is. That's rune crossbows and runite bolts. So let's go grab something out of the bank. Let's get one of these, and onyx bolts equipped. That is our best in slot bolts, and another chunk task ticked off, leaving us with 2 things to do. 1 is we need to get the dragon plate legs, and 2, I need to spend all of my air runes in an attempt to get a unique from the Colosseum. Hello, here I am at the chest, and we are about to perform a horrendous waste. We are going to low out with this rune kite shield. Do I need the money? No. Do I need the rune kite shield though? Also no, but it's nice to stack them up. But the thing this is gonna give us... low elk. Hold on. Hold. Let's do an onyx bolt. I thought that was gonna get me more XP. Oh, now the level's ruined. Okay, there we go. 35 magic. We can now cast Firebolt. And that's really important, because that brings the max damage of our Wind Bolt up to 12, and the melee minion in here has 48 health. So if I switch to using Chaos Runes now, I can 4-hit the melee Fremennik, down from 6 with Mind Spells. The 4 Chaos Spells, however, are going to take a total of 8 Air Runes, whereas the 6 Mind Spells costs only 6. But for only 2 extra air runes per wave, we're increasing our DPS against the melee Fremennik by 50%, meaning we drain 33% less prayer against that, and prayer is the one resource that I cannot get in my chunks, so that's, like, really good. I've just spilt my coffee. Shit. Alright, that's all cleaned up. And new coffee's on the way. I emote a lot with my hands while I'm recording. It helps me speak more expressively. That's also a good tip for music too, if any of you are learning instruments out there. Move your body as you play. It really helps you with your dynamics and your groove. Alright, I also, current don't have keyboard. It's upside down on the washing line, drying out. But we're gonna jump in and try out this new Chaos Rune spell without F keys, so I'm gonna be a clicky friend. Good luck me- oh, hold on, rest of the inventory. Oh, where's my stop recording button? Oh, I have to click it manually? Ugh. Alright, no F key. Oh, already messed up. That wasn't F key related, I just misclicked. Good start though. Oh, the run! I can't control click. Oh, that's the thing we need. That's the last chunk task, and I don't have a keyboard. I'm gonna go look to see if I can find a spare keyboard somewhere so I can use F keys for this wave, because I really don't want to die on this one. I really want those. Oh, I found my old mechanical keyboard. It's so clicky. It's so loud. The buttons do feel kind of nice though, but yeah, sounds. Okay, we're ready to go. Trying to get my hand position to feel right on this keyboard because it's very slightly different. Oh, good luck us. Oh my god, Mr. Tick trying to get the recorder up, but that's okay. We got a good spawn. This one came right into the side, which means I can kill this one out here. Turn run back on. And can I mess this up before the melee arrives? Do I have enough DPS for that now? Oh, if I hadn't missed a tick, I would have. Hell yeah, that was plays. I liked that. That's it. Claim. Confirm. Gimme. Oh. Oh, that's beautiful. I wish that didn't come out noted. Gimme those for real. Bank chest. Oh my god. Okay, let me fix this setup. Wow. 3 huge tank items from the Colosseum. And if I look at the difference to the old Addy plate legs, that's like 35 defense. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Also, we're done. That's great. I was worried about those dragon plate legs because I started with almost 2,000 air runes and as we were approaching 500, I wasn't sure I was going to get them. And I was going to make myself get them. I was going to have to farm out air runes to try get these dragon plate legs. But now once I run out of air runes trying to get a unique, because I'm not committing to the uniques because it would take actually years, that means we'll be able to be done. So 518 air runes, how many waves is that at 8 per wave? 64. That's 64 waves. That's how many wave attempts we have to try get a unique. Very, very unlikely, but hey, it's possible. Oh, let's update that setup too. Oh, I love updating the setup. Update slot from equipment. I haven't put them in the bank yet. You go there. Oh. I have just been buying myself some more tea, and with this inventory I have enough tea to have a 3 attack boost for every single wave I have left with air runes. And also, speaking of air runes, I was looking at the tiers of spells, and it's going to be worth swapping to death runes at level 59 magic. Once I hit Fire Blast, I can hit 16s, which means I could 3-shot the Malaya, and with 3-shotting the Malaya that would use 9 runes, so for only +1 air rune per wave, we would bring down like 25% less prayer again. So that level will be huge, but I just do not have enough runes to get there, so that'll be happening sometime in the future when I unlock probably a more reliable source of air runes, and I actually pull the uniques here out of the backlog and into real tasks. Look at this. In time. Oh, I need like one faster attack. If I can get one upgrade to skip one attack there, I'll be able to kill the Fremenix before the Jaguar gets to me. That would be really nice. I can't attempt the next wave. I need to go to work, like, now. Please don't show me a unique. Please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. Oh, I mean, I'm so glad I got those, because that would have been brutal. That was the only thing I still needed and I had to leave for work, but I already got them. Okay, let's bank all those things. Okay, really need to go buy. Oh, no way. Oh, I got the forestry. I got the fox whistle. And, okay, that's like cool and stuff. But check out the screenshot here. I just got that on both my accounts that are next to each other at the exact same time. Wow. Oh, that's sick. Oh, 75 attack. It's cool, we didn't get the message, but we can equip like so many things. Look at all these. Arclight, Godsword, Staff of the Dead, Tent Whip, Aldermall, man, heaps of cool stuff. Here is a pillar stack with a really interesting puzzle. We're on wave 5 at the moment, and wave 5 can be pretty difficult in this account. And the important thing is I really don't want this Manticore to activate, because if the Manticore activates, then I have to pray against the Manticore when running across to this pillar to split these two up, and what I want is to pull that Serpent Shaman out so I can deal with them on their own. I really want to deal with the Serpent Shaman and then the Colossus or the Manticore, these two separately. So to do that, for example, if I step out to here, this shaman's going to come out, and then when I step back, they're going to come around the side. But the problem is then the Manticore would see me. So what we can do is we need to bring the Manticore across to here. And if I step out from here, same thing's going to happen. When I step out, the Manticore comes across to here, and it can see this diagonal through to this square here. So that's not going to work. But what the Manticore can't see is this tile here. So watch this, we are going to step out to here, we're going to pray mage for 1 tick and come back. And we've pulled the mage round the side without activating the Manticore. So once that shaman's dealt with, now I can do this super easy run over to here and only the ranger will attack me. And now the Manticore is going to come around this side and I get to deal with it on its own. Oh, missed the melee. Alright, another wave 5 down. That feels really good. Oh, I haven't been able to attempt wave 6 in like the last 2 or 3 days. It's been a while since I've managed to get here. Brutal. After that we'll go take a break and just do some training. On those particular spawns, my mistake was running around the north. As soon as I did that, it was probably over. I should have run south straight away, and most of the time on those sorts of spawns on this account, I'm gonna die. Anytime I get a double middle spawn, my chance of surviving on this is extraordinarily low. And the problem with them is that, oh yeah, by the way, almost every time I come out of an attempt on the next 5-minute threshold, I get a random event, so that's really nice. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, my problem with those waves where I have to rotate on the start is that I spend a lot of time running to a different pillar, and then I'm behind on killing the Fremenix, and the Fremenix are still alive when the spawns come out. And on those ones, I need the Fremenix to be dead by the time the spawns come out so that I can flick the spawns and not worry about dealing with the Fremenix. We're down to only 5 prayer points, so if I have anything come through the middle, the run will be instantly over, and on wave 6 that's incredibly likely, because there are, what, 4 spawns in the middle? It's pretty packed. So I think we're going to claim for that, take these dragon plate legs. If this was a unique here, I would absolutely go for it, But seeing as there's no unique, I think it's time to dip, and we go again. We're getting pretty low on air runes, down to 120. Well, this is mildly embarrassing. I didn't get below 100 air runes. Another wave 5 completed, which is always a really good run. But if you look at my air runes, those are the last I own, and there's 8 of them. This is the last wave I can attempt without running out of air runes. It's a wave 6, and the difficult thing about a wave 6 is there's a very high chance the ranger comes through the middle, and if the ranger comes through the middle, I'm probably screwed. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's terrible. Oh my god, that's so bad. Let's rotate that. Okay, when do we attack? There. Not then. Now? There we go. Ow! Oh no, I've messed this up so bad. Ah! Oh no, I've stepped out. Well, with all of our chunk tasks completed and our supplies used up, it's time to put the Colosseum on the backlog for now. I am super proud with what I got done. Clearing wave 7 exceeded what I thought was going to be possible, and we picked up some massive armor upgrades along the way. Every chunk roll from now we will be revisiting the Colosseum, and once I have access to Prayer Restore and more runes, we will be removing items from the backlog and starting to go for them for real. Thank you for sticking with me during this mammoth video, and a special thanks to DiggyDogSP, who joined as a member after I opened channel memberships on the last video. I didn't see them in my community Discord, link in the description by the way, but I recognized their name from somewhere. And it's that I've seen them supporting other creators too. DiggyDog is just out here supporting creators, what a hero. And if you want to be a hero too, you can click that join button down below the video. And thanks again for joining me as I experience this crazy chunk. Have a wonderful week and much love to you all. Ciao.